Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Voting begins for the second phase of India's general elections today. Nearly 160 million voters in 88 seats across 13 states and union territories to vote. Election Commission extends timings in Bihar by 2 hours due to heat wave. Actresses and activists term the overturning of Harvey Winston's 2020 rape conviction as an act of institutional betrayal. Victims appalled at the judgment. NATO drills set to take place close to the Russian border in Finland today. Russia says exercises in close proximity to the Russian-Finnish border are provocative in nature. Haiti transitional government takes power as gangs threaten to completely take over the capital. White House says Haiti making key step towards free elections. Polling began for the second phase of India's parliamentary elections. Nearly 160 million voters are eligible to exercise their franchise in 88 seats across 13 states and union territories. All the 20 seats of Kerala, 14 of the 28 seats in Karnataka, 13 seats in Rajasthan, 8 seats each in Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh, 7 in Madhya Pradesh, 5 each in Assam and Bihar, 3 seats each in Chhattisgarh and West Bengal, and 1 seat each in Manipur, Tripura and Jammu and Kashmir go to polls in this phase. The Election Commission has made elaborate arrangements to ensure free and fair polling in the second phase of India's general polls. Ahead of polling, India's Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar said that the poll panel has made all the arrangements for the voters, keeping in view the heat wave.
जरूरत है कि वोटर्स को अधिक से अधिक संख्या में मतदान करना है। सभी तैयारियां हैं। कहीं से कोई भी अभी तक हिंसा की तो बात है ही नहीं। फिर भी हर बूथ पे फोर्सेस उपलब्ध रहेंगी, आपकी सुविधा के लिए उपलब्ध रहेंगी। खुल के मतदान करने आए बिना भी किसी चिंता के। बस मतदान के पर्व में भाग जरूर लेना है। जैसे बोलते हैं ना, चुनाव का पर्व देश का गर्व, तो उस गर्व में शामिल होना है।
The second phase of voting is also being held for Jammu parliamentary constituency in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. The Jammu seat is spread over 4 districts, including Jammu, Samba, Riyasi and the lone assembly constituency from Rajouri. All the 20 parliamentary constituencies in Kerala are going to polls in the second phase. 14 parliamentary seats in Karnataka are also witnessing polls in this phase. Up your screens, we have a quick look at the constituencies going to polls in Karnataka today. In Bihar, 50 candidates are in fray for the 5 parliamentary constituencies for the second phase polls today. And up your screens, we have the constituencies going to polls in Rajasthan today. Prominent seats of West Bengal that will be testing the waters today: Darjeeling, Raiganj, Balurghat. All right, to get us a sense of how the day has begun, Yogesh Sheetal is joining us for more from Nanded, Maharashtra. Yogesh, good morning to you. Now, of the 8 Lok Sabha constituencies set for polling today, particular attention will be on Nanded and Amravati. Now, when we talk of Nanded, then the Lok Sabha constituency has traditionally been a Congress stronghold. Let us understand from you, how is the contest placed this time around?
Also, and to all our viewers also, at this point in time the voting has started. You can see behind me this is a special, a unique, you can see the initiatives by the district administration. You can see this is a polling booth that is dedicated to women workforce, that is Sakhi Matdan Kendra. Before I come to your question, let me give you a very brief understanding that how votings have started here in Nanded. In all the constituencies, there are more than 2,000 constituencies out of 16,589 overall constituencies in all the 8 seats, basically 5 seats in Vidarbha region and 3 seats in Marathwada region, which includes Hingoli, Nanded and Parbhani. And in Vidarbha, there are 5 seats, which is Akola, Buldhana, Yavatmal, Amravati and Wardha. There are total 8 seats. You have rightly underlined. Now, coming to Nanded, basically seeing political landscape, definitely the entire campaigns have been extremely intensified. Recently, we have seen even the PM visited Nanded and Home Minister also addressed rally. The Congress top leaders addressed rally. You also rightly said that this region basically has been a passion for Congress for a long time, because if you see Marathwada in a broad concept, then Marathwada was never under British rule. That was basically ruled by under Nizam rule, and after that it was Congress based until and unless that emergence of Bala Sahib Thackeray, basically that attracted the entire Maratha community, and later on Shiv Sena dominated the entire region. And now this election is going to be very important because the split in NCP as well as in Shiv Sena. We know that recently we had seen that how the both parties split. Now before I'll explain more on this, we have Mrs. Rekha Kalam, who is organizing this booth. I would like to just have some understanding about the arrangements. एक बात बताइए, जो आपने ये विशेष आयोजन किया है, इसकी खासियत क्या है इस बूथ?
नमस्ते, myself रेखा कदम कालम. यहाँ पे डिस्ट्रिक्ट मैजिस्ट्रेट श्री अभिजीत राउत सर और हमारे सीईओ मैम मीनल करणवाल मैडम, इनकी कंसेप्ट थी कि सखी बूथ सेंटर, जिसमें महिलाओं के लिए एक अच्छा सा आइडियल केंद्र, मतदान केंद्र बूथ होना चाहिए. तो ये कल्पना के अनुसार हमने इस बूथ का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन किया है, जहाँ पे हम जो मतदाता हैं, मतदाताओं को कंफर्ट देने के लिए उनका स्वागत कर रहे हैं. साथ में उनके लिए ठंडा गर्म पानी और वेटिंग रूम, और जहाँ पे जो माता गरोदर स्तनदा माता जो स्तनदा माता यहाँ पे आएंगे, उनके लिए, उनके बच्चों के लिए जो साथ में आते हैं, उनके लिए खिलौने, उनके बच्चों के लिए और माताओं के लिए हिरकनी कक्ष, ये हमने यहाँ पे स्थापित किया है.
Thank you. So basically, they are saying that lactating mothers and also for the kids, all the arrangements have been made to ensure that women don't face any issues. Basically, because all the voting staffs are women here. On the same line, you can see there are other polling booths which are dedicated to Divyang as well as youth workforce. So this is complete. You can see a unique initiative. Now coming to the point we are discussing. See, coming to these two constituencies, basically. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Coming to these two constituencies, basically Nanded and Amravati. Amravati is important because in last election 2019 we had seen that in all these 8 seats, 7 seats were won by BJP and undivided Shiv Sena. But the Amravati seat, which couldn't be secured by the alliance, and that independent candidate Navneet Rana contesting there and secured that seat. Now Navneet Rana had joined BJP. We had seen that even Ashok Chavan has joined BJP, Navneet Rana has joined BJP, now she is contesting on BJP nominee. So this also will decide the ground, the ground of these parties, because Maharashtra's assembly election is also due in this year, by the end of this year. So the result will definitely, the echo and the result, the figure will definitely will not only be heard in this region, Nanded or Amravati, but also beyond Marathwada and Vidarbha, beyond the border of these region, and this will be heard in the entire Maharashtra, because the assembly election is also due by the end of this year. So that is why we can say that this election, basically this phase, is quite important for all the parties to show actual ground and the position at this point in time, we can say.
All right, Yogesh, we'll delve more on it, but at present I'll bring in Siddharth, who is joining us from Kerala. Siddharth, good morning. It's a little too early to talk about the voter turnout, but then let us understand more from you as to what are you picking up from the ground. today. How could we expect the day to be, and also help us understand the political contest in the 20 seats of Kerala that are going to polls today?
Well, a very good morning to you, Preeti, and certainly I'm here in Wayanad, one of the most important constituencies here in Kerala, the state wherein 20 Lok Sabha seats are up for grabs. I am here in SKMJ Higher Secondary School, and you see it's just post 7, and you can see behind me the people are there in the queues. They are ready to vote. They are very happy. They are very happy to come here to celebrate the festival of democracy. And as you can see, I would request my camera person to pan. You can see the long queues here, and it's just post 7. People are eagerly waiting to vote, and the voting has just started. Women have come in large numbers. That's something to see, and because they know this time around that what it means to exercise their right. As you can see behind me as well, there's a long queue. People are here. They are waiting to vote. Everything is just going in a smooth line manner, and also there are security personnel here deployed to make sure that everything goes in a smooth line manner. Right now at the SKMJ Higher Secondary School, people are just here, waiting for their turn to vote, to exercise their right, and actually to vote here. This time around here in Wayanad, the political dynamics are, likely to be changed, with BJP coming into fray. It's no more a bipolar contest here in this constituency. From the Congress, Rahul Gandhi is contesting. From the CPI, Ani Raja, and from the BJP, K. Surendran is contesting. So which is what making these elections very interesting here in Wayanad constituency. All in all, Kerala, I just told you that there are 20 seats up for grabs. Although every vote is important and every vote counts, but there are some constituencies to watch out for. Which is the Wayanad where I'm standing right now, Trivandrum, Thiruvananthapuram, as we say, which is the capital of Kerala, Thrissur and Pattanamthitta, the Battle of Antonies. This is what is happening here. The voting process has just started. People are eagerly waiting. Media is here. Police personnel is here to make sure that everything goes in a very smooth line manner. Back to you, Preeti.
All right. When we talk of polling, then also this is the second phase of polling today. And we had inputs coming in from our correspondent Yogesh Sheetal from Nanded, and also our correspondent Siddharth, who joined us from Wayanad in Kerala. Let's turn focus to another important state, Uttar Pradesh. Akshay Dogre is joining us from Noida in Uttar Pradesh. Akshay, good morning. Now, 8 of the 80 constituencies go to polls today. Let us understand the prominent aspect of the constituencies that will be testing the waters today.
Well, a very good morning to you too, Preeti, and to all of our viewers who are watching DD India at this morning. As we talk about the great Indian elections, Uttar Pradesh remains one of the most important states, not just because of the sheer number of population, the sheer size of the population of the state, but also the weight that it carries as far as the Lok Sabha elections are concerned. Now, to people who are not aware, Uttar Pradesh is the state with the largest number of Lok Sabha seats. It has 80 seats out of the 533, and that means that whatever Uttar Pradesh decides, that has the most, that has the largest impact on the outcome of the general elections. In fact, there has been a saying that the roads to Delhi goes through the state of Uttar Pradesh, and that is not just for the politicians, but for all those who in fact are going to polls today in the state of Uttar Pradesh. There are 8 seats that are going to polls in this second phase. Some of the most important seats from the state include Gautam Buddha Nagar, that has Noida. This is the constituency that is adjacent to Delhi. It comes under the NCR region. There is Meerut, there is Amroha, Baghpat, Mathura as well. So all of these seats that are going to poll are quite significant, given the fact that these are not just rural seats but semi-urban and urban seats as well. So it in a way gives an overall flavor of the kind of elections that are taking place. The result that will be coming out from these seats in a way represent what or rather give a glimpse of what the election results are going to be like, because these areas have people not just coming in from the state or from the nearby areas, but from people from all over the country. And that exactly is the reason why what happens here in these 8 seats become extremely significant as far as the election results are concerned. Now the polling has started. Gautam Buddha Nagar has Dr. Mahesh Sharma as the BJP candidate. There is a 3-way contest. Mahindra Nagar is the India Alliance candidate, and the BSP is also fielding their own candidate from the constituencies. In a way, not just Gautam Buddha Nagar, but Amroha, Meerut, Bagpat, Mathura, on almost all of these seats that are going to polls today, there is a three-way contest that is taking place between the BJP, the BSP and the India Alliance. So that becomes extremely important given the fact that BSP, that is also in the opposition, has stayed away from the opposition bloc that has come up rather to counter the Bharatiya Janata Party's influence, given the fact that the popularity of the BJP has been unmatched, and in a way from 2014 to 2024 the opposition has failed to rather crack this popularity of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and remains to be seen that what is going to be the result. But the polling has started now, and the Election Commission of India has urged people to come out in huge numbers, because in especially these urban areas with the polling taking place on a Friday, people may take it as a long weekend, and that is the reason why Election Commission is saying that come out, vote and get exercise your right.
Yes, indeed, elaborate arrangements have been put in place by the Election Commission, but it is good to see a huge crowd has come forth to exercise their franchise in Maharashtra and Kerala. Let's wait for the day to progress. Thank you, all three of you, for joining us this morning on DD India Live. All right, so those were our correspondents joining us from Wayanad, from Nanded and from Noida. All three of these constituencies, of these seats, will be going to polls today, and the polling has already begun at 7 a.m. and it will run through the day. We will keep you updated and posted about the voter turnout, about the contest, and this is in fact the big news we will be tracking all through the day. But now we'll turn focus to other election-related stories making it to the headlines today. Notification for the fifth phase of India's general elections will be issued on Friday, allowing candidates to file their nomination forms for the 13 parliamentary constituencies. The fifth phase of the Lok Sabha elections will be held on May 20th, with voters in 49 parliamentary constituencies spread across 8 states casting their ballot to elect the new government. Renowned sand artist Sudarshan Patnaik has crafted a spectacular stand display to raise voting awareness in the Indian state of Odisha. The sand art with the message "My Vote, My Duty" is created at eastern India's Puri beach ahead of the second phase of voting for the 18 general elections. You're watching DD India Live. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, US Treasury Secretary says their economy is strong and that all options are open on China's overcapacity, while China urges US to respect fair competition. US Supreme Court hears arguments on Trump's bid for immunity from prosecution. Manchester City scores another big win, defeating Brighton 4-0 on Thursday night. We'll tell you more ahead.
India that invents. India that innovates. India that excites. India that invites. Land of possibility. Teeming with opportunities. Watch India Ideas each Thursday 8 p.m. only on DD India.
Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India Live and I'm Preeti. US's former film producer Harvey Winston's 2020 conviction for sexual assault and rape was overturned by New York's highest court in a landmark ruling on Thursday. Now, this major case fueled the origin of the popular hashtag #MeToo movement and highlighted the challenges of holding powerful men accountable. Though Winston is not expected to be freed immediately, as he faces a separate 16-year prison term imposed last year in California after he was convicted for the 2013 rape of an actress at a Los Angeles hotel. That conviction still stands.
Legal ruling is a great day for America because it instills in us the faith that there is a justice system. Even though there's 100 cameras around, that a judge will sit in her chambers and look at the law and look at the precedent without fear of favor and say, I don't care who the defendant is. If it's a former president of the United States or the most storied Hollywood producer of our generation, the law applies to everyone.
Actress and activist Ashley Judd reacted on Thursday to a ruling overturning Harvey Weinstein's New York rape conviction and called the ruling an act of institutional betrayal.
This today is an act of institutional betrayal. And our institutions betray survivors of male sexual violence. And we need to work within and without the systems to start having what is known as institutional courage.
NATO exercises starting on April 26th in Finland and in close proximity to the Russian-Finnish border are proactive in nature, Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said on Wednesday. I quote her, their task is to exert military pressure on the Russian Federation through a demonstration of force, Zakharova added. The drills increase the risks of possible military incidents, she said. Soldiers from the NATO multinational battle group Slovakia held a military drill at the training center in Lest in Slovakia on Thursday. The battle group demonstrated armored vehicle capabilities, anti-drone defense and trained to provide medical care and evacuate injured soldiers on the battlefield. The group, consisting of the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Germany, the United States, Slovenia and Spain, is being led by Czech forces until July 1st, after which it will be commanded by Spanish army forces. Haiti's Transition Council took power in a ceremony on Thursday, formalizing the resignation of former Prime Minister Ariel Henry. Ariel Henry announced his resignation in a letter dated April 24th and shared on social media on Thursday. Henry's Finance Minister, Michael Patrick Boisvert, is the interim Prime Minister. Boisvert will be interim Prime Minister until the Transition Council appoints a new head of government, a cabinet and a provisional electoral council set to pave the way for an eventual vote. The White House has welcomed the swearing-in of a transitional governing council in Haiti, hailing it as a major progress towards holding elections. White House spokesman John Kirby commended the council and said that the U.S. had landed a military aircraft at the long-shuttered international airport carrying aid. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen strongly advocated that the U.S. economic growth was likely stronger than suggested, and the Biden administration was keeping all options open to respond to threats from China's excess industrial capacity. Yellen termed it as a top concern for the U.S. and its allies. In an interview to Reuters, Yellen said that China exporting its way to full employment is not acceptable to the rest of the world. She added that the issue threatens producers of similar goods in the US, Europe, Japan, and emerging markets such as India and Mexico.
I think I still see in the underlying core drivers of economic activity considerable strength. So I think that the U.S. economy continues to perform very, very well. And I think, to me, that was evident. The headline figure was off a little bit, but for reasons that are peculiar and not really indicative of underlying strength. The fundamentals here are in line with inflation continuing down back toward normal levels.
China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi has asked U.S. to not interfere with China's internal affairs. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Chinese Wang Yi in Beijing on Friday, where Wang Yi said that though China-U.S. relationship has stabilized, but negative factors are building and are sliding into the conflict with the U.S. He further added that it would be a lose-lose situation and both China and U.S. need to avoid miscalculations. He hoped that U.S. and China can make progress on agreements, citing fentanyl, military-to-military ties and AI risks. Blinken arrived in Beijing on Thursday from Shanghai, where he urged China to provide a level playing field for U.S. businesses. The US Supreme Court heard arguments on Thursday about whether former President Donald Trump has immunity over prosecution. He faces 4 criminal trials, 2 of which relate to election interference that could be impacted by the opinions of the top court's justices. Caroline Malone gets us more.
Well, a hugely important case being heard at the Supreme Court on Thursday, with implications not just for the former President Donald Trump, but also future elections and future presidents as well. There is one scenario in which they decide that Trump should be deemed immune from election interference prosecution, and therefore a number of the criminal trials against him won't be able to go ahead. At the other extreme, they could find that he isn't immune, that he should be tried in election interference, and the court cases against him can go ahead, both the federal case out of DC and the one in Georgia as well. But what's more and more likely is that they may find in the middle somewhere that some of these arguments that they were hearing about him being immune from prosecution because he was acting in an official capacity need to be explored further. So it could go down to the lower courts again before they reach their final conclusion. Now, we're not likely to hear a final conclusion from the Supreme Court until the end of June or early July. That's when they are likely to issue a formal opinion. On the Supreme Court at the moment, we have 9 justices. 6 of them are more conservative-leaning, and they are more likely to find in favour of Trump. But because this is such an unprecedented case, we really don't know what the outcome will be in this scenario. What we do know, though, is it's taking a long time to get to a conclusion, and therefore, by the time we get an answer, we could already be in the final stages of election campaigning ahead of November 5th presidential election, which of course is likely to be a rematch between the current President Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Caroline Malone in Washington for DD India.
All right, let's take a look at sports updates. Now, English Premier League defending champions Manchester City is on course to win another title, just 1 point behind Arsenal. City scored another big win, defeating Brighton 4-0 on Thursday night, which is winless from their last 5 Premier League matches. For City, Phil Foden continued his career best scoring season with 2 goals. Kevin De Bruyne and Julian Alvarez scored 1 goal each as City extended its unbeaten run in the league to 18 games. Liverpool is 2 points further back in third after its title chances were damaged by a 2-0 loss at Everton on Wednesday. All right, that's it in this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us at In Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.